Hello. Okay, today I'm going to try to finish this landscape. The goal is to finish the focus area, adding the clouds to the background, and finish the foreground and the middle zones. I think I'm going to leave this area like this. I'm not going to add much more details here. As always, you can download my free brushes, the brushes I'm using here, from my digital store. You have the link here and in the description as well. And you can see here the colors I'm using on the go. So let's start. Okay, I'm going to finish the middle area of grass and refining a bit, adding more detail to the path. Okay, depurate this area of the edge of the path here. As I said, the goal today is to finish, because I don't want to spend more time on this practice. I have other practice to do. So I want to finish today. Okay, I'm going to leave it like this area. I don't want to add more detail here because I spend so much time on the grass. So let's go to the next area. Okay, the middle. I'm going to finish the middle area of the grass. This zone. I'm not going to add much more detail here because at this distance the detail of the grass it's already fine like this. Just some touches. Maybe I will add some flowers here to add a bit of color. But at the end, for now, I'm going to focus on finishing the grass. Here I'm working on the edges of the lights and shadow zones. I'm not work very much on the flat color areas, just blending the edges with some textures. Because at the edges is where the grass is more visible. Okay, later I will add more light here with some touches of grass with more light. But for now, I think that this area is done. I'm going to add a bit more of detail here, but not very much. I'm using the smudge tool to blur a bit the texture. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to add here the focus area a town or a castle. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to add a big castle here. Yes, I'm going to paint the castle. So I'm going to add some extension of the mountain because I don't want to paint in the middle of this line. Maybe some at the top of the hill maybe, but taking advantage of this light and shadow area, because it's very interesting this light change. So I'm going to modify a bit. Okay, now I'm adding a bit of like a rock texture for simulating that the mountain it's a bit taller, a bit more it's taller than this, and I will add the castle at the top of this extension. Here's the shadow area. If this is the same rock like this zone is on light, on the light area, and this zone is on the shadow area. It's like this. This area is a bit more lighter than this one. Maybe later I will add a bit more of shadow here. Something like that. Because the light comes from here and actually also touch this side of the mountain, because it's the light actually is very vertical. The light comes from here, touch this area of the mountain, but also touch a bit this area of the mountain. But there is a cloud, and this is the separation between the shadow and the light. Here is the cloud that is here, and the object casts the shadow here on this zone of the mountain, but the sunlight touches this zone of the mountain. So let's continue with this. Hi, Jose Oliver. Thanks to you for watching. Okay, now it's a little mess. It's a bit mess, but trust the process, because I have I have the castle in my mind. Maybe I will extend the path from here to here and up to the castle here. Okay. On the castle, I'm going to paint a castle integrated with the mountain. I mean, with the same color of the rocks, maybe a bit lighter, but something integrated in the mountain. Maybe I extend also this zone of the mountain, something like this. And here, and now the towers of the castle. Actually, I don't know exactly how to do the castle, but I just the first step. Also, I usually add some towers, random towers, and a little by little the shape starts appearing. Something like this, I don't know. Yes, not bad, not really bad. Okay, now the light area. Actually, the castle is the bottom of the castle. It's on the shadow area, but I add the top of the castle on the light area to generate more focus on the castle. This area is on shadow. Is still on shadow. This is on shadow, also shadow. Shadow, and the top of the castle. This area here is touched by the light. Here a wall of the castle, another wall here. You can see I'm taking advantage of the same colors of the mountain. I'm not picking any new color. I just use the same colors that I have on the canvas. Here a tower, here a bit another building, here and here. And you can see that the castle is so it's a little mess. It's still a bit of mess, but it's recognizable. The castle is, if you see from far, it's a castle. I'm going to add a bit more of detail to the castle, but actually not more, not will be very detailed. Some touches here. I'm going to add a separated tower here. Okay, maybe another tower here for more epic and fantasy style castle. A touch of light here, and maybe an arc. I'm going to do an arc here, an arch. Yes, looks nice. Okay, I think the main shape of the castle is okay. I'm going to finish the lights. Okay, here is the shape of the mountain. Continues from here. Okay, I think I'm going to keep this texture. I like it. I like a rocky texture of the mountain. It's like this, but this is on the light area. You can see that the light and shadow affects, touches the grass areas of the mountain and the rocks, and the texture of the rock. Okay, and here this is the entrance, the main entrance of the castle. I'm going to add here a big door, maybe with an arch. I'm going to erase this and create here a bigger arch and darker color here. Okay, so the lights come from here. Remember, the lights come from the top right corner, so all the shadows of the castle must have this direction. So you will see if we add all the lights like with this structure, with this direction, all make sense. Like this one, here another one, here another one. Okay, I'm going to add a bit more of light because it's a bit dark. The castle is too dark. To add a more warm color. Going to blur a bit this sun. Okay, I think that the castle, I think it's a bit too detailed, for the distance it is. Okay, but it's okay. Because I'm going to add clouds between the castle and the background mountains, and I will add some clouds in front of the castle later, so maybe it's enough with this detail. So I'm going to continue with the clouds. Okay, I'm going to continue with the clouds, adding some flowers here, a bit more of light here, and I think that this landscape is finished. And maybe also some forest, some trees on this hill, and some bushes here, and it's finished. Okay, let's go with the clouds. The clouds sorry, I'm thinking. Okay, after the mountains here. Okay, I'm going to select the clouds of brush. I'm going to add here a big cloud. I don't want to add to create little clouds because it could be too much. So with one big cloud, it's enough. Okay, remember that the lights come from the top right corner, so the darker the shadow area of the shadow area of the cloud, is this the left area. So the shadow area is blue because we take advantage of the blue of the sky. to paint the blue of the cloud. And at the bottom, usually is darker than at the top of the cloud. Hi, footlong. You can see that how I paint also with this style of touches. I don't paint with big and long strokes. It's like when a sculpt, you have to think about this style of painting like a sculpt. You have to sculpt with touches the shape of the object you are painting. And little by little, the object you want to paint is appearing with its form, with its shape. Okay, this is the base shape of the cloud. Now I'm going to add another level of light, only at the top. A bit warmer color and almost white. And like I said, with touches. And playing with the size of the brush. I'm going to blur a bit with the smudge tool. Here is the epic cloud. Okay, now I'm going to paint a bit more, some more clouds between the castle and the farthest mountains, but more like a fog, not like a solid cloud or more solid shape cloud. So with the same brush, with the clouds of brush, here, this brush, remember that you can download these brushes are totally free from my digital store. So with this brush, I'm going to add here some I don't know why I don't find this. Okay, I'm at the bottom of the layer. Okay, here, okay. With the match tool, I blur the clouds and seems like more like fog, more like fog than clouds. And for example, at this area simulates that are casting the shadows of this area. I'm not very convinced with the color of the castle, is too yellow, but I don't know, I'm not sure, because I like that contrast with the background and I like this contrast, but I don't like the color. Maybe I will modify the color with the Photoshop tools. I'm going to select only the castle and I'm going to try. Okay, I selected, I have the castle selected and I'm going to try with the color balance. Okay, it's too yellow. I'm going to go for blue. Yes, maybe the shadow zones. And I'm going to touch a bit the hue and saturation. Just a bit. Yes, and more light because it's very far. Yes, now it's contrasted, but not too much contrasted. Okay, let's continue. I'm still not very happy with this castle, but usually when I work on a final illustration, I took references and I selected some castle reference and I try to mix all the castles in one, or the towns or the architecture, but this castle is from my imagination, and well, for this practice it's okay. So let's continue. I'm going to integrate a bit more the castle, because now with the color changes it's a bit strange. Okay, now it's better, I think. Okay, I'm going to show the clouds. Okay, and I'm going to add a bit some clouds here. Put a new layer. And the clouds of brush. You can see here the clouds are bluish, with have bluish color, because they are in the shadow areas, actually. Oops. I don't know what happened. Okay, here. Okay, I think it's almost done. I'm going to add, okay, for more realistic or credible landscape, I'm going to add the path to the castle and some trees, a little forest here. Okay, continue with this brush. I'm going to use maybe the rounded sketch brush. Okay, this is the path to the castle, and I'm going to add simulate trees. Actually, it's a forest, so I'm going to use the distant trees soft. This brush is perfect for this purpose, because it has a rounded shape, and is perfect for clusters of trees. You have to use color variations to simulate a little, well, not little, but distant clusters of trees or forests. With color variations, it's more realistic. You see. On the shadow areas, with a slightly lighter color, you can simulate also a forest here. The effect with this brush for this kind of forest, of very far or distant forest, is very realistic. With this closer view are just spots, little spots on little green spots, but when you see from the distance, simulates a distant forest. Okay, I think that the background it's finished. Some touches here to simulate a distant forest, distant trees. So you can see with the clouds, the effect is more realistic because it's all the landscape is more integrated and realistic. Okay, and to finish, I'm going to add here at this area some bushes. Or bigger trees, I don't know, maybe distant tree hard. Maybe with the general soft. General soft is like the distant trees, but with the shape rounded on all sides. This is a multi-purpose brush because it's useful for many situations, for a lot of situations. Here a brush. It's important also to add, for example, this element is very important because generate a lot of contrast with the cloud and generate this effect of distance. It's very important to create this effect in some areas to generate this contrast effect. Only with this group of trees or patches of little forest, of generate with the white of the or the blue of the fog, the contrast to simulate this distance effect. For example, if I add here another trees, for example, a pine here, some pines, it generates the effect of further elements. You see, only these groups of trees adds a lot of perspective and distance effect. Okay, this is darker because it's on shadow area. And maybe I have to fix this area. Okay, this area is not very finished, but I don't care. Sorry. I'm going to add some trees here to dissimulate this not finished area. No, I don't like these trees. Yeah, something like this. And for this brush, okay, those bushes and vegetation, this level of detail is enough. But for this one or this other one, we have to add a bit more detail. Yes, more detail because are closer to the viewer. So with the treetop basic shape, I'm going to add a bit of more realistic texture. This brush works with short strokes like this. Actually, it's on shadow area. This brush is on shadow, but I want to add a bit of texture to simulate that 3D object, not a plain shape like those background brushes. Okay, I think that this level of detail is enough. It's enough for this. For this distance. Yeah, I think it's okay. Some detail here. And I think that the bushes and the bigger vegetation is finished. Okay, I think it's enough. I'm going to add for finish a bit more light here and here, and some flowers, and that's it. That's all. Okay, with the hard leaf and grass brush, I'm going to pick lighter green, almost white. I mean almost yellow, not white. But I have to mix with the background, with the green I already have. This brush, the hard leaf and grass, it's very nice for the final touches of light because it's very sharp. And you have to touch continuously the opacity because sometimes it's too sharp. When you paint with this brush, this style of blades, of grass blades, you can erase a bit the bottom area to integrate more the blades on with the ground. Something like this. With a soft brush, with this brush, the flat brush, it's okay, but also with the soft brush and the eraser. You erase the bottom area. And the grass become more integrated. But this technique is to add a very detailed grass. With the grass, only with the grass, I can spend hours and hours. Actually, for the final high detail illustration, this is this stage is it's a very early stage, because you can see actually it's not detailed. The process for detail this is to continue improving the areas between the light and shadow, and mixing the two areas with grass to mix them and creating a better effect. Like this area. This area is a mess. Actually, it's a mess, this area. But this is a practice. This is not a final artwork. Actually, it could be a final artwork, but for my standards, I love to detail a lot my illustrations. But for anime style, the basic anime style illustration, it's enough. This level of detail, it's okay. It's true that for example, that is actually I would have to fix these random strokes. But it's a practice, and I don't want to spend more hours on this illustration, because the goal of this practice was to practice these areas, the light and shadow, areas on the grass and on a vast landscape, on a bigger landscape. Okay, I'm going to add a bit of vegetation here, some flowers, and it's finished. No, I don't like this. Maybe no, I'm going to add some yellow flowers here, because of this area is on dark. I'm going to use a very darker yellow. For example, if this is a flower, you will see on the sunny areas, this yellow will be lighter, more vivid. Here one, here another one. You can play with a bit more light on the shadow areas for adding a bit of texture on the flower. And if you want to simulate that the light touches the top of the flowers, just increase the light of the light on the color, and that's it. But in this case is too much for this area, so I leave it like this, and I'm going to add some flowers here and there, and it's enough. For example, for creating a more realistic effect for the flowers, just paint flowers on clusters, not spread for all the ground. Not like this. This is not very realistic. Flowers appears in clusters, not very spread for dispersed is the word, no? Spread is not the correct word. Dispersed. Yes, dispersed. Spread is it's a synonym. There, the word is dispersed or scattered. Well, so paint the flowers in clusters. For example, on this cluster that there are flowers on the sunny areas and on the darker areas. For a more realistic effect, play with the light of the color. You will see that the effect is very nice. I paint more flowers here, with the darker yellow, almost green, mixed with the dark color of the background, and you will see that the effect of the same cluster of flowers are touched by the sun and also are in the shadow areas. The final effect is very realistic. And for the flowers on the light area, you can add more light. With some touches. And you can see that the effect is very nice. So the same on other areas. I'm going to use for this area the same white, yellow, I mean the same yellow, and when I reach the shadow area, I use a darker yellow. So here the effect is the same. Here there are flowers touched by the light, and flowers on the shadow areas. For flowers closer to the viewer, you can search for reference or the flowers for reference. I currently not have a reference selected, but when I paint flowers with this style of on the fly, I usually just paint something like this. Maybe not here because it's on this grass blade, but here, for example, here. Something like this, and something like this. These flowers are the same flowers than those ones, but these are closer and you can see all the structure of the flower. The effect is when you see flowers on the distance, you only see little spots or a shape of coloring shape. For example, if you want to paint flowers at this distance, you will see only like something like this. But at this distance, if you want to paint flowers at this distance, you have to, for more realistic effect, you have to paint all the structure of the flower. At this distance, little ones with something like this. At this level of detail, it's not. You don't have to paint very detailed flowers. This is an example, but but you can see here you can recognize almost because I don't spend a lot of time painting each flower, but you can recognize all the structure of the flower. At this middle distance you recognize almost the each flower, and at this distance you only see the little spots. This is the effect you have to the goal you have to reach with this perspective view at the distance. When as closer as the flowers are, more detail you have to add to them. It's like the grass. Here you can see each detail of each blade, but when you go farthest from the foreground, you only see some touches, not all the details. Okay, I think it's almost finished. I'm going to add a bit more flowers here, and it's finished. I'm going to fix a bit this area. I don't like this area, and okay, I think it's finished. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I work with color variations, and not color variations, I mean fixing the overall color. I love how the colors looks now, but at this stage, but we can improve and adding and we can add some texture I select all the layers and group them and copy the new group created and merge off, and I merge all the layers. Then duplicate the layer and try with the soft light overlay. Usually I use the soft light layer modifier, and you can see the increase a bit the contrast. It's just a contrast and adds automatically a bit of saturation, more saturation. And after this, I add a new layer, and with a gray color, I fill the layer with gray color, and I add filter noise. I add noise with a high level. It depends on the size of the canvas, the level of noise you have to add, but something like this. And I adjust the levels of this noise to contrast more. Also, I add a blur filter, just a bit of blur with the Gaussian blur. Okay, it's enough. And the soft light layer modifier. And I increase the size of the texture and decrease the opacity. Just a soft texture, just that's a very soft texture, just to add this effect of movie or and it seems a very finished artwork. So that's it. That's it. I'm very happy with the result of this practice, because I wanted to practice these effects of shadows and lights over a bigger landscape, and I think the effect is very nice. So thank you for watching. I think I finished the stream here. Remember that you can buy my prints in my stores and my brushes on my digital store. The brushes I used for this illustration. and are the same brushes that I use for all my artworks, with this level of detail and more level of detail. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And we will see in the next video. Bye.